Here is a statistic that should stop every man over 40 in his tracks. In studies examining training men between the ages of 40 and 65, researchers found that men who had been constantly lifting for over a year showed on an average only 23% of muscle growth of men in their 20s, even when performing the exact same program with the same volume and the same intensity. Same effort, same program, 1/4 of the result. You feel stronger to the point where you've added weight to the bar. You show up constantly, and yet when you look at the mirror after 8 months, you see the exact same man who started. This isn't your imagination, and it's not lack of effort, and certainly not just a testosterone problem. I'm Dr. Gundi, and in the next few minutes, I'm going to show you exactly what is happening inside your muscle after 40, and the 3 biological glitches that Standard Fitness channel never explain, and the precise protocol to override them. The moment you're in your 40s, the rules of the game change, and it is time you learn to play by the new ones. I hear this all the time. And just like, I think yesterday, a friend of mine came to me and he said, dude, I hit the gym 4 times a week. I do progressive overload. My squat is up. And I've even added plates for my bench presses. And yet I see no change. Why do I still look the same after everything I'm doing? Well, the mainstream fitness has 2 lazy answers. The first one is that you are not training hard enough or you are not eating enough. But here is the thing. For men over 40, those are usually wrong. The problem isn't the input, it's the reception. After 40, your muscle cells change how they hear the signal to grow. You are sending a message and your muscles aren't just receiving it, or they are not even just picking up the message. Now, let me give the 3 reasons why that could happen. The first one is anabolic resistance. So, when you lift, you trigger a protein complex called mTOR. Now, I want you to think of mTOR like a light switch in your house, but in this case, it's going to be for your muscle growth. At 25, that switch is incredibly sensitive. A light breeze of workout flips the switch on, but after 40, that switch gets stuck. It becomes resistant, and the same 10 to 12 rep range you've used for years now only flip the switch halfway. You are hitting 40% capacity, which is exactly why you're getting 40% of the result. So to fix it, here is what you will need to do. You need a louder shout to override this resistance. You must include load specificity. And what I mean is that you go near maximal effort in 4 to 6 rep range. It's not about doing it in every set, it's about sending the high potential signal that switch that mTOR to finally click into place. Number 2 is the leucine threshold. Now, even if the fleece is switched, you need the right fuel to keep the lights on. You've been told X grams of protein a day, you hit your goal with chickens and shake, but your muscles still aren't growing. And why is that after everything that you've been told to do and that you follow diligently? After 40, your muscles stop caring about your daily total and start caring about your pre-meal concentration of an amino acid called leucine. And here is the thing, this leucine is actually the trigger for your muscle building. In your 20s, you only need about 1.7 grams of leucine to start the engine. A small chicken breast does that easily, but the moment you turn 40, that threshold is about 3 to 5 grams. So that means that if you are eating a small frequent protein meals of 20 to 25 grams, you are never hitting the threshold. You are putting fuel in the tank, but you are never turning the key. That's how I would actually see it. To fix it, you need at least 2 threshold meals a day, and that means 40 to 50 grams of protein in a single sitting with high leucine sources like red meat, whey, or even eggs. But here is the bridge. Even with the switch flipped on, the engine running, and your body still has to do the construction work. And those I call the construction work are actually your satellite cell. And these are actually the specialized stem cells that repair and grow your muscles. At 25, these guys show up to work 4 to 6 hours after your workout. By 24 hours, they are in full swing, like working like mad. But after 40, that construction crew becomes lazy and they get to work late. And that means that the activation is delayed by an extra 24 to even 48 hours. So you will agree with me that if you now follow the standard train a muscle every 48 hours advice, you are hitting the muscle again just as the repair crew is finally getting started. And that means that you are literally interrupting the construction. Conversely, if you wait a full week, the crew has finished and gone home by day 4, leaving day 5 through 7 as dead air where nothing happened. Well, before moving to the protocol, I want to hear from you. Have you ever felt like, despite everything that you're doing, you're consistent at the gym, you eat well, and yet when you look at the mirror, you feel like your muscles aren't growing? Please drop your answer in the comment below. I would like to read it. And please like and share this video so that we can reach more people. Now, let's move to that protocol I promised you earlier. So you could probably wonder, like, how could we fix this? Here is your 40 plus protocols. The first one is that we need to override the load. Once per week, for every major muscle group, do one power set in the 4 to 6 rep range at 85% of your max, and that will force that mTOR switch to flip on. So the second is that you need to engineer your meal. Make sure 2 of your meals have 40 to 50 grams of high quality protein, especially your post-workout meal, because we need to stop the breakdown process and start to build the process immediately with a massive leucine hit. And finally, the 72 to 96 hour rule. You need to move away from the 48 hours or once a week split. You should aim to hit each muscle every 3 to 4 days at least. And this will give your cellular cells enough time to finish the job without leaving the muscle inactive for too long. Because if that happens, you will not see any growth. Well, to wrap this up, let's say, these aren't just lifestyle tips, they are biological correction for a body that has changed the rules on you. If this finally makes sense of why your progress is stalled, drop the word signal in the comments. It tells me you are ready to stop just working hard and start training for the biology you have today. And if you've been struggling with belly fat despite everything you've tried, you might consider watching this video next and discover the method used by the Chinese to always have that belly fat regardless of your age. So the only thing I would say is that train smart, live long, and live on your own term. Thanks for watching. I'm Dr. Gundi, and I will see you in the next video.